Hello and welcome back to your own channel Indian Defense Analysis, where we bring to you all the latest development happening in the defense sector. The recent conflict between PLA and Indian Army is not new. One video of the conflict between both the armies has gone viral on the social media, which seems to be of the last year. This means that Indian Army has been consistently thrashing PLA forces every year and in the same region. There's a fair possibility that PLA forces will try again similar misadventure next year. The Indian Army is in complete commanding position at LAC, and PLA forces can try whatever they want to, but they will achieve nothing but Golgappas. However, the readiness and commanding position of Indian Army is not a day of work. There has been many changes done since the Galwan incident of 2020, because of which Indian Army is on high alert. In today's video, we are going to discuss all those in detail, and it's going to be a very long video as we have to touch upon all the aspects. So I hope you would like the video and do watch till the end. The Indian Army has undertaken a major reorientation and rebalancing of its troops in strategically sensitive areas along the line of actual control in Arunachal Pradesh, maintaining very high order of overall combat readiness in the region. Army, along with other stakeholders, is developing capabilities with a long-term perspective under a 5-year plan that is from 2021 to 2025. The eastern region of LAC is a vast landmass covering a total distance of 1,346 kilometers. This area is looked after by 3 corps of the army. Besides 3 corps, the Eastern Command now has 17 Mountain Strike Corps, also exclusively looking after the eastern sector for offensive operations. In the case of Arunachal Pradesh, there are 2 corps which are looking after LAC, the Tezpur-based 4 corps and Dimapur-based 3 corps. The 4 corps, which looks after the western part of Arunachal Pradesh, is at an advantageous position since they are already sitting right at the LAC in most locations. The situation is different when it comes to 3 corps, which looks after the eastern Arunachal Pradesh. The area of 3 corps is wider, and many of the locations are several kilometers away from LAC, and infrastructure is still a challenge there. Logistics is the blood vessel of Indian Army, which enables the supply of men, material, food and weapons to the frontiers. BRO has constructed 3,097 kilometers of roads in Arunachal Pradesh in last 5 years. Indian government has further approved $4.5 billion, that is 44,000 crore rupees, to build 2,500 kilometers of highways for the state of Arunachal Pradesh along the China border. From the construction of road, bridges and ammunition depots to bolstering its air assets and surveillance apparatus, the army is also ramping up military infrastructure on a war footing for quicker mobilization of troops in a strategically sensitive RALP, that is rest of Arunachal Pradesh region. The development projects include construction of road, bridges, tunnels, helipads and other infrastructure which are being implemented under strict timelines, especially in the upper Dibang Valley region of Arunachal Pradesh. The infrastructure development in the strategically sensitive area also include the construction of 135 4G mobile towers. The Dinjan base in Assam is one of the Army's nerve center of operation along China border, across which People's Liberation of Army has ramped up the military activity. Dinjan now provides critical support to Army's deployment along the LAC, including operating the Israeli origin Heron UAVs for strategic and tactical missions and armed helicopters equipped with anti-tank and anti-aircraft missiles. The force's Mountain Division Command, which includes artillery units with M777 that can be swiftly deployed and redeployed in mountains. As per senior army official, the M777 can be deployed at any desired place for desired effect anytime. The Indian Army has also strengthened its 1st Aviation Brigade in Arunachal Pradesh after the bloody conflict in Galwan and escalated tensions between India and China on the LAC. Through this aviation brigade, all operations in Northeast are carried out by Army. The brigade has deployed unmanned aerial vehicles, advanced light helicopter Rudra, and other surveillance assets in the region. Rudra is the first Army aviation aircraft to add teeth to the fleet of Army aviation with its Mistral air-to-air missile, 70 rockets, 20 gun and anti-tank guided missile. Rudra is a force multiplier for the Field Force Commander with its potent weapons on board. This helicopter will be able to storm the enemy forces and hunt them down when required. The first squadron of Prachand is also being formed at Misamari Air Base in Assam, which is the most strategic base of the Indian Army's Aviation Brigade in northeast, from where the LCH can be deployed along the line of actual control in just few minutes. As Prachand is the lightest and the most sleek attack helicopter, it can fly comfortably in the narrow valleys of Arunachal Pradesh and can carry out attack operations even in the severe winter. It is also effective in rainy and cloudy weather of Arunachal Pradesh. All the trials of LCH have been done in these areas. The advantage of LCH is that it can avoid China's surveillance radar system and drones while flying at very low height. Recently, 5 LCH have been handed over to Aviation Wing of Indian Army, though the Indian Army wants to induct about 95 more Prachand helicopters in coming years. The key to preparedness across LAC is surveillance of the border areas. With the help of UAV, as a continuous physical surveillance along the mountainous terrain is not possible. The tough terrain in this area pose real challenge in patrolling by ground troops. Further, human movements are always limited by endurance, availability and accessibility. To overcome this, Army has set up the Division Surveillance Center at Rupa, Arunachal Pradesh, which is receiving real-time images and inputs of PLA movements along the LAC from multiple sources like UAVs, heli-borne sensors, ground radars and satellite feeds for collation and analysis, leading to a quick response. The long-range surveillance drones in the Eastern Command have now been brought under Army's Aviation Corps as a part of integrated sensor-to-fire focus. This change was initiated last year and has been done across the Army in a phased manner. This will ensure that all flying assets of Army remain under a single cohesive unit. Indian Army is now looking to create a separate cadre for operating its UAV, which will help in reducing the load on helicopter pilots. The proposal is now with Army headquarters, and once cleared, it will be sent to Ministry of Defence for the final approval. Now, this also helps Army to understand the pattern followed by PLA at some of their bunkers and posts, number of vehicles and soldiers, time gap in the movement, and identify any heightened activity. The Indian Armed Forces are operating close to 90 Israel Heron Mark 1 drones, with nearly 30 of them being operated by Army. Army has more than doubled the sorties of these drones in day and night since the standoff with China. Last year, Indian Army has contracted for 4 more Heron Mark 2 UAVs from Israel. 2 of them have already been deployed in Ladakh, and the other 2 have been deployed in the eastern sector of LAC. Now, as per Israel Aerospace, the new Mark 2 is a male UAV which can reach to an altitude of 35,000 feet with a speed of 140 knots and remain in air for 45 consecutive hours. It is equipped with satellite communication for beyond line of sight ranges. Major Bhabya Sharma of the Signals Corps has developed a facial recognition software. This algorithm is being trained against a huge database of pictures and videos of PLA Army captured by Indian Army over the period of last 5 to 6 years. This algorithm matches and compares against the live feed from cameras and other sensors. Earlier, it used to take several weeks to identify a PLA soldier, but now it takes less than a minute using the artificial intelligence. The use of advanced technology has enabled the Army to get a full holistic picture, and now the troops on the ground are aware of the movement of the PLA Army. It has enabled them to not only keep a track on the movement of PLA along the LAC, but also well within the Chinese territory, or we can say inside the Chinese territory. The Integrated Surveillance Center under the 4 Corps is manned by officers and men from both the Army and Air Force. They keep track of various points along the LAC, soldiers and vehicle movements deep inside the enemy's territory on a 24/7 basis. Now, this is the reason why Indian Army was able to respond quickly and thwart the Chinese aggression in the recent conflict. This was today's update. Please let us know your views on this in comment section. If you like the video, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. With this, I would like to say goodbye and Jai Hind. We'll soon back with more interesting and amazing development happening in the defense sector.